It's not that people don't like to be educated, that they don't like to learn. They just don't want to be bored.
That's a perceptive point because, think of the image we have of, let's say you're in a school where most people don't go to college. You're in high school. And then last day of school comes. What do people do? They toss their papers in the air as they run down the steps. School's out. No. What's the rock song? School's out for summer. Was it forever?
And then ever.
Then forever.
Ever.
Right?
Yeah.
So that attitude must mean the school didn't train you to embrace curiosity.
Right.
That learning was a chore, and now the chores are over.
Yeah.
So I think the educational system needs an adjustment. Forget whether or not you go to college, because you're going to spend more years not in school than in school, even if you do go to college. What you want, I think, are lifelong learners, lifelong curiosity.
Yes.
Where once you are trained and your curiosity is stimulated, the curiosity we all had as children. Children don't need to be taught to be curious. They are curious to the point of destruction of whatever it is they touch. Oh, what is this egg on the counter? What is this glass? What is this plate? What's under a rock? What happens if I pull a leg off a daddy long? They are experimenting with the world. We don't think of it that way, but that's what it is.
If you know, you know. And today, we're diving deep into a topic that's both alarming and thought-provoking. Neil deGrasse Tyson, a renowned astrophysicist, has sounded the alarm on America's rapid decline, and the implications are too significant to ignore. We've scoured through viewer comments and engagements to bring you a unique perspective on this issue, from the loss of scientific intellect to the overpowering influence of marketing and money. We're exploring every angle. If you want to understand the depth of this decline and what it could mean for our future, stay tuned. Remember, if you know, you know. And by the end of this video, you'll know a lot more. Let's dive into the deep end of America's educational pool. And folks, it's not looking like Olympic standard. Neil deGrasse Tyson has waved the red flag on the state of American education. And it's not just him. One of our viewers, a science PhD, dropping some real talk. He was one of the few Americans in his program, surrounded by international minds. Post-graduation, they took their brains back home. If that's not a brain drain in neon lights, I don't know what is. It's a scenario where the brightest minds aren't planting their seeds in the American intellectual soil. This isn't just a brainy exodus. It's a cultural crisis, folks. We're importing intellect, but failing to cultivate our own.
Science illiteracy is rampant in our culture. I'm not telling. I've changed my views 360. If you don't remember what 360 degrees is, it is that, okay? Now, I wonder, maybe the congressperson did do that. Exactly. Maybe they're just trying to fool you. Maybe they're trying to make you think they changed their mind, but they did not. Okay? I'd have more respect for them lying with correct math. Okay? But I'm pretty sure he was telling the truth with math ignorance.
As Tyson would say, it's like hosting a potluck and forgetting to cook. If this makes you nod in agreement or shake your head in disbelief, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It's the smart choice.
Half the schools in the district are below average. That's kind of what an average sort of is, right? About half below. That's kind of what, not exactly maybe, but pretty much so. Technically, that would be, that'd be the median, technically, but still. What the journalist probably meant to say was half the schools are below standards or below grade level. They said below average, which meant they were mathematically illiterate. If that were actually true, something would be wrong with the state of mathematics.
Alright, brace yourselves for a trip down the rabbit hole of data misinterpretation. It's like reading a mystery novel, but with numbers. Here's a gem about World War II bombers. The planes came back Swiss cheese style, full of holes in the wings. The top brass thought, hey, let's armor up those wings. But hold on, there's a twist in this tale. Turns out, those winged warriors made it home despite the holes. The real victims were the ones hit where it hurts, engines and cockpits. This tale isn't just about bombers. It's a masterclass in how not to use data. It's like concluding that umbrellas cause rain because every time it pours, voila, umbrellas.
Here's one, a little more subtle. 80% of airplane crash survivors had studied the locations of the exit doors on takeoff. So you say, well, I'm going to study where the exit doors are because I want to be in that 80%. That's a good percentage to be in, isn't it? That's good. So, but think about this. Wait, what's So think about, here, let me just posit a question to you. Suppose 100% of the dead people study the locations of the exit doors on takeoff. You would never know because they're dead, all right? So this statistic is basically meaningless to act upon. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying.
So, next time you see stats, remember, they can be sneakier than a spy in a tuxedo. And if you think that's as mind-boggling as we do, smash that like button and subscribe for more brain gymnastics.
I have high hopes for where science will go under Obama. He's talked the talk, so he's certainly scientifically literate. Literate in the sense that I think he understands issues related to global warming or the energy crisis or investments in the National Science Foundation and NASA. I think he has some sense of that. And he's been appointing reliable advisors in those circles. If you look at who he appointed for Secretary of Energy and his science advisor, these are talented, smart, accomplished scientists. So I have high expectations for where it can go. But we know the country's in a serious economic strait right now. So the challenge will be to see what is the balance between the Band-Aid you will put on the problem that you can sort of stop the hemorrhaging at this moment and the investments that you then insert that will return on that investment later. You need the combination of both. Without the longer-term investment, then you're just putting Band-Aids on as you go forward and nothing ever gets permanently solved. It gives the illusion of a solution, but it doesn't actually change what the manifestation of these problems as time moves on.
Strap in, folks. We're on a cultural and political roller coaster, and it's a wild ride. Remember the good old days when optimism was as American as an apple pie? Reminiscing about a time when the American dream wasn't just a rerun on classic TV. Fast forward to today, and it's like we've swapped hope for hashtags and dreams for memes. It's a shift from, yes, we can, to, well, maybe we might? And let's not forget the elephant and donkey in the room, politics. Thanks for spotlighting the big bucks bonanza in political campaigns. It's like a high-stakes poker game. And guess who's not holding the cards? Yep, you and me, folks. You and me.
There are people walking among us who are cherry-picking science for whatever is their cultural, political, religious, economic philosophies. Abraham Lincoln understood this emergent value of science in governance. And in 1863, arguably like the bloodiest year of the bloodiest war we've ever fought, the same year of his Gettysburg Address, that year he founded the National Academy of Sciences, an organization independent of government, but tasked by government to advise them on all the ways emerging science would and should matter in their formation of legislation. So when I see people cherry-picking science, it is an abomination of that mission statement that got put into place 150 years ago. If we go forward, allowing people in charge to cherry pick science, that is not an informed democracy. We should fear the future of our nation in all the ways that science matters to that future. We should fear our health, our wealth, and our security, if that's how people are making decisions.
If this political plot twist has you more hooked than a season finale cliffhanger, smash that like button and subscribe. We're dishing out more truth than a whistleblower in a tell-all interview. Welcome to the desert of scientific stagnation, where the thirst for knowledge is as scarce as water in a sand dune. It's a place where basic skills like reading a clock or writing in cursive are ancient relics. Imagine kids today staring at a rotary phone like it's a UFO. In this intellectual drought, our brains are parched for some good old-fashioned learning. Neil deGrasse Tyson is like the oasis in this desert. But folks, one man can't water the wastelands alone.
I think that when they take math in school, there's the common response like, I will never need to use this for the rest of my life, as they learn trig identities or the Pythagorean theorem, or whatever it is that we all remember learning, feeling pretty sure it's never going to show up again. But that misses something important. It misses the fact that the act of learning how to do the math establishes a new kind of brain wiring in your mind, a kind of problem-solving brain wiring. So it's not about what you learned, it's about what methods, tools, and tactics you had to develop in order to solve the problem that you may never see again for the rest of your life, but you will see other problems where these methods and tools will become immensely valuable to you. So what's the point? Well, the point is, well, what did you do to conduct the research? What did you do to compose the sentences? Your choice of words to communicate an idea, a fresh idea on top of already known ideas. That is the value of education. Not how much information they can pour in your head. It's how equipped you are to explore the world on your own after you get out.
If you're feeling like a cactus in this barren land of knowledge, let's band together. Give a like if you're thirsty for more brain-quenching content, and subscribe to join our caravan of curiosity. We're on a mission to turn this desert into a flourishing field of intellect. That wraps up our exploration of Neil deGrasse Tyson's warning about America's decline. We covered education, data interpretation, cultural shifts, and scientific ignorance. What worries you the most? The state of education or the political landscape? Comment with education or politics. If this video opened your eyes to the challenges we face, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more insightful content. Remember, if you know, you know. And now you know a bit more about the complexities of our world. What worries you the most? The state of education or the political landscape? Comment with your answer.